and I dropped some previous video on understanding programming, and one I dropped on installing Python programming training basically. So I'll be taking you through the process of learning Python and understanding it easily. Now, but first of all, let's get familiar with the Python. So we downloaded Python 2.9 in the last video. So let's open it. If you are downloaded 2.7, there's no problem. We'll be getting tips on how to use code. Now, so you have something like this where you will be downloading. So let's click on that and open. Just double click should do. Double click should do. Okay, so it should be having something like this. If you had installed Python correctly, this is what you will be having. Now, this is called Python shell environment. This allows you to write a code and run it immediately, which I did in the last class. Now, there's one of the most popular things we write is a print statement. So let me quickly write that and see how it responds in this environment. So let's do. So this is what I'm writing, and let's add it. Now, there is a quick response to whatever you write. So I write print. The print statement I'm using. All those will be explained in due terms. 5 plus 9. Let's see what will be printed. So print 5.9. Now, if I have to say print 5 plus 9, let's see what will be printed here. It prints 14. Now, this shell environment is an environment that gives an immediate response to what is being written. The instruction is being given, gives an immediate response to it. But this is not the best environment for us to use if we are writing long blocks of code. This would work if you are writing a simple statement, very effective. But really, we don't need this if you are writing long blocks of code. This is just where you see your code run and operate. Right, so to get to the next environment, which we call the script environment, click on File and open. I believe this is the first time you're using it, so you begin to input file. So this you see here, put the script environment. Here you can write a lot of code and run them, and the shell environment will run the codes for you one after each line by each line. Okay, so let's do this. Now, before we start writing, the first thing you should always do is save your code. Save. And my first code. Let's put the brackets Python. Okay. Now, my first code Python. Now, you see it's already saved as a Python file. But if it's not saved, you want to check for Python 5 file 4. In other cases, you want to save it as .py. Now, this .py means that if you are not seeing a Python file that you have to save as, so you save as a .py is the extension for Python, and you could save it here, or let's create a new folder here and write Python to here. Now, this I'm saving this here. I'm saving this in the part of the Python, but I could do this any other place. I could write this folder any other place. And let me to be on the desktop, and it's a new folder also. Okay, my first code Python for Python tutorial. Let's not waste so much of time. Okay, and I have that. So I could open it there, and it's going to be saved in that Python tutorial. So whenever I want to run my code, I go to the Python tutorial folder in my desktop to run the code. Now this place, one thing you have to do is you save before you can run the code. For every line you write, you've got save. So now we can get started. Now the most common statement you will be using almost all through your study in Python is the print statement. I will explain what it does or what it is really. The print statement is one of the most common things we are going to be using. Now I have print. Okay. My first Python code. Now, normally I would have said you should write hello world. It's too common. So now let's do as this. Now this control. See now, if you notice, I have a green line enclosed in enclosed in quotation mark. What's something when I remove one of the quotation mark? You can see that the bracket also becomes green. Let me return it. It becomes the return this becomes black again. So whenever you see a green line like this, it's usually a string in Python. I'm specific with Python right now. In Python, it's called a string. Now, once you see any statements with different colors, those statements are usually called functions. Now, we have so many functions in Python, which I'm going to be explaining. But basically, let's just stop here. Now, the print here is a statement do something, a function. Now this green part of it is called a string. Now every function usually, this kind of function, usually have a bracket to take in what we call an argument. And the argument here is just a string. The argument is what you put for a function. If you did polynomials in further mathematics, you understand what the function is and what an argument is, alright? An argument is embedded in a function. Okay, so we're not going to further maths right now. So now I could have this. Now I won't stop here, just run the code. I will have to save before I can run. Now you see this here, which is run. If you click on that run module, it will require you to save. Every time you want to run a code from the script environment, you must save. Oh, beautiful. We have my first Python code. My first Python code. So you could play around with this. There's the first. So you could play around with this, with shell environment, with my first code. Note, if you want to do something else, x 5, y equals 10. Print x plus y. Now notice this. I'm not going to explain right now because that's not what I'm doing in this course. I'm going to take some other time to explain every part, everything I do. But now, once you run, instead of me having to go to the run, you just save Ctrl S. You all know the popular Ctrl S, and then use F5 to run the code. And here we are. We've run our first Python code. If you are just coming to my YouTube channel, you click the like button, subscribe, and follow. Thank you very much. Once again, my name is Ibrahim. See you some other times.